What's up, guys? So I binged Doom Patrol. Now, Doom Patrol's been a show I've been trying to binge off and on ever since it came out. I remember I watched like the first 5 episodes when it originally came out on DC Universe, and I couldn't get into it. And then I tried again like a year later to try to binge it, and I got like through 1 or 2 episodes, and I just couldn't get into it. Then I tried again earlier this year, tried to get into it, and I just couldn't get into it. And then I hear that Stargirl, Titans, and Doom Patrol is gonna have a crossover. And I say, well, I don't really like Titans, but I love these characters. I love the source material of these characters. So I suffered through Titans. And I checked out Stargirl, and I like Stargirl. I really like Stargirl. I think it's one of the better CW shows. Genuinely one of the better CW shows. That was originally made for DC Universe, but was on CW. And it's one of the better shows. So I'm saying, hey, if these 3 shows are gonna mix up, do a crossover, let me really give this the last try with Doom Patrol. And I got through it this time. I got through Doom Patrol. And if you want the spark notes of what I'm gonna say, this is probably one of the it's probably one of the best written, well directed, and well acted shows you're gonna find out there. But it is boring at times. And that's okay. Something can be well made and be boring at times. It is very possible. Something can be boring but well made. It is very possible. And if you find something boring, like if you're one of those people that try to watch Doom Patrol and you just find it boring, that's okay. You can find something boring, and it can still be well made. So, and I wasn't bored most of the time watching this show. I was bored in maybe 1 or 2 episodes. If I had to look at my favorite, I think my favorite episode is usually, maybe it's because it's the freshest out of my mind out of this big binge, but it's about episode 8 of season 3, where we see them go into the subconscious. And the character development in that episode, I feel like that was the strongest character. Like, I feel like that was one of the best episodes of their character development throughout the entire 3 seasons. And this whole show is really about characters. But I feel like that episode really brought everything full circle, and to see what the characters came through, and see how everything came full circle. You know what I mean? Everything, we just see how they dealt with everything, and see the interact with themselves. But overall, the CGI is good. The effects are good. The CGI is good, but sometimes it's iffy. The acting's great. Brandon Fraser's great. Diane Guerrero's great. Matt Boomer's great. April Bowie's great. I want to say his name right. The guy that plays Cyborg, Jonathan Wade. This Cyborg is great. Something beautiful on this show. Because people might not be apprehensive because he doesn't fight a lot, but they like announce like, this is fucking Cyborg, man. He really should be in the Justice League. This is fucking Cyborg. He's a superhero. He's not no fucking clown. Like, he's a full-blown superhero. And like, honestly, this Cyborg is gonna be my headcanon going forward. Like, if you love Cyborg, you're gonna like, if you love Cyborg and all how I want to say this, all the little things about Cyborg and his character and his story and really his backstory, you'll love Doom Patrol. Like, going forward, like if they ever bring back the DCEU Cyborg, this is how I want to imagine how his Cyborg was. But like, his Cyborg never felt as developed as Doom Patrol Cyborg, because we only saw him 1 movie, and we saw this guy for 3 seasons. But yeah, Robot Man. I love everything they did with Robot Man up until season 3, really. And like that, cause like when they did the gambling addiction thing, I feel like they could have done that so much. I feel like they could have just done more with it. It felt very, like it was played off for a jokey joke, which I understand is a wacky, goofy show, but I feel like that's like something major. Because like, I really wanted to believe that as the seasons went on, that it's like, oh, all these years has gone on, that Robot Man had changed as a person, but it showed that he kind of, sort of, maybe we can just put it on the pills, but I don't know. I feel like we could have done more with that in season 3. Negative Man, he's my favorite character. Larry's my favorite character. I love everything to do with Larry. Yeah, I love Rita. I love her whole arc. I love her even trying to be a superhero for a little bit and it's not really working out. And I really love what they did with Rita in season 3. Jane, I'm iffy on Jane. I'm very iffy on Jane. Like, they all really deal with the same shit every season, character-wise, but like something about Jane. I don't know if I love the idea of the underground and all these personalities just coexisting like an ecosystem. I don't know if I like that, really. I don't really know if I like that. I don't really know how to feel about Jane as a character. The villains are great. You want to talk about this? You want to talk about superhero shows with strong villains? Every one of their villains is fucking great, and they all feel awesome. And you know what? This is a side note before we get into the villains. Something that I love about Doom Patrol is you can feel, like, they mentioned Batman and Superman and everything, but you can actually, like, you can just see by the way other people in the world respond to the Doom Patrol. You can tell that this is a DCU. Like, this is a DC universe where, like, it's like, oh, it's just been Batman for 20 years and there's never been a lot of wacky shit. Like, no, there's been you can tell that there's wacky shit has been going on. Doom Patrol lives in a universe that you would think the DCU would be in by their 10th year, but they're not. Like, this is a DC universe where you can tell all that mythical shit exists, like the fucking Poison Ivy and the Joker and Clayman, Clayface, and the Lizard? Oh, fuck, I hope I'm getting his name right. The Lizard Man, and all those crazy wacky characters that we know of. Lex Luthor. Like, all these crazy, wacky villains and superheroes exist in this universe, and you can tell that they do by the way the people react to the Doom Patrol. So I like that. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe that's not intentional. I'm reading way too much into it, but that's the way I get it. I feel like the writers want us to, like, kind of get the feel that, like, this is an established DC universe where shit's not fucked up, and all these great characters that we know of exist. The Deadpool detectives, let me talk about them. Apparently they're trying to make a show with them. Off the little bit we've seen of them, I'm not like, I'll watch it, but I'm like, oh my god, I can't fucking wait for this show. Like I'll watch the show, but with what I saw of them, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait. The Brain and the Gorilla Man. I want to get these characters' names right. I'm terrible with names, but I'm great with voices and faces. Oh, and Darren Jones is a villain. He was great too. But the Brain and him, he was great. Stylist Phil Morris, who plays Stylist Stone. Everything they did with Cyborg on the show is like definitive. Like, this is the best Cyborg and the characters surrounding Cyborg have ever been. There haven't been a lot of Cyborg done in live action, but like, this is the best that it's ever done. So, but yeah, the villains, Mr. Nobody was a great villain. Madame Rouge was a great villain. I'm trying to think of another villain they won against. I know there's one in season 2. Flex Mentallo was great. Danny the Street was great. All that Danny the Street stuff was great. Yeah, everything about the show is pretty, like, it's boring at times, but everything is well written. All the characters are acted great. Everything comes across great. Yeah, it's not like I don't have anything negative to say about the show other than it gets boring here and there, and that they kind of fumbled some stuff with a few characters in season 3. Like, season 3 had some great moments, but overall as a season, it wasn't the strongest season. I still think season 1 was the strongest season they had. But yeah, overall the series, this is an 8 out of 10. One of the best series you're gonna find on television. It's not gonna get like, and this is a top 3 superhero show. I'm talking about like DC or MCU. I'm talking about superhero show overall, because there's still not a lot of great superhero shows that you can put up there with like the tippy top of the television. Like right now, I think this goes as far as every superhero show, it goes Daredevil 1. It goes Daredevil 1, The Boys 2, then Doom Patrol's at 3. For me, personally. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I'm really excited for season 4 in December, and really looking forward to this crossover they're gonna do with Titans and Stargirl. Peace.